What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event breakdown and prediction for UFC 297. We got Sean Strickland going against Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight championship. And yeah, this is a fight that I've had circled for a long time now, and I think a lot of you guys are with me. It's going to be a phenomenal fight. I think there's some bad blood between the two. Obviously, these guys got into a little bit of a scruffle on one of these events last year, and then they had like that press conference that they do like about a month and a half, 2 months before the fight, and that got pretty ugly. And to be honest, I'm really looking forward to the press conference this week as well, because I think it is going to get very, very ugly. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this fight, looking forward to breaking it down, looking forward to watching it. We'll talk about this fight from a betting perspective. I'll give my pick, and we'll talk about it here. So we have Sean Strickland, who is 32 years old, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach, 28-5, and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Dricus du Plessis, he is 30 years old, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach, 20-2, and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. So we got Sean Strickland opened up minus 190. He is currently sitting as a minus 140 favorite. And then Dricus du Plessis opened up plus 165. And as we know, that would have not lasted long, and it didn't. He's now plus 120. And I'm curious to see where this line goes throughout the week, because I think it's one of those fights where people are going to be like dead set on one side or another. People are going to be very confident on either side here. So I think it's one of those fights. But yeah, this is a very interesting fight. Sean Strickland went out there last year and pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the year last year against Adesanya. He was a massive underdog in that fight, and it was a great win. I don't want to pick any holes in that win. He came forward the entire time, outstruck Adesanya, but kind of wondered where Adesanya's head was at. Apparently, he got a DUI like a couple weeks before that title fight. He said he was going to take a couple years off after that fight as well. So, but still, regardless, Strickland went on in there and he pulled off a big upset, and it was a great performance. I went back and watched that fight yesterday, and it kind of gave me chills. Like, Strickland at the end of the fight was like screaming at Adesanya, coming forward. It was wild, but I think this is just a much different matchup, in Dricus du Plessis than Adesanya. Adesanya is an incredible striker, one of the best strikers in history, but, he's a guy that Sean Strickland pressured. Strickland pressured the entire time, and that's what Strickland does. He wants to come forward the entire time. He's not going to take a backward step, and, Adesanya was content in terms of backing up and letting Strickland pressure him, letting Strickland get off with his strikes, and I just don't think this fight's going to play out the same. I think this fight is going to be a car crash, like every Dricus du Plessis fight, a car crash. I think it's a great word to describe this guy's fighting style. This guy's 22 fights, and like all 22 of them have been a car crash. All 21 out of 22 have finished inside the distance for Dricus du Plessis. He has won one decision. It was against Brad Tavares, and that fight probably could have been stopped on several occasions. Both of his losses do come inside the distance. Those were a while ago outside the UFC, and both of those I think were in the 3rd round as well. So yeah, Sean Strickland's going to want to pressure, and I think Dricus du Plessis is going to want to pressure as well. I feel like these guys are going to meet in the middle, especially, with the bad blood between these two as well. And I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. So, if you like the Sean Strickland side, I think what you're thinking is, Sean Strickland is going to pressure. Maybe the pressure gets to Dricus a little bit down the stretch. Maybe Sean Strickland can potentially break Dricus at one point in this fight. But Sean Strickland's a guy that has incredible volume, but the power really isn't there. He's not really going out there and knocking a lot of guys out. Obviously, he knocked out Abus Magomedov, knocked out Brendan Allen, Nordine Taleb back in the day. But really, that's about it. Alex Garcia as well. So 4 knockout wins in the UFC. Other than that, it's just a bunch of decisions. Adesanya, decision. Imavov, decision. Jack Hermanson, decision. Uriah Hall, decision. Christoph Jocko, decision. Just a lot of decisions for Sean Strickland, which Dricus du Plessis never lost a decision, ever. I mean, he's 1-0 when it comes to decisions. I do think this fight is finishing inside the distance one way or another, and I kind of see it being like a Dricus early or Sean Strickland late type situation, but, how I see this fight playing out is I think it's going to come down to this fight is going to be chaos. It's going to be very chaotic, especially with the bad blood between the two, and I think I got to go with the guy that thrives in the chaos, and that's Dricus du Plessis, a guy that, in Dricus, who has power. Sean Strickland's not really a power guy at all. Whereas Dricus has real power. I was shocked what he went out there and did to Robert Whittaker. Hurting Robert Whittaker on a couple different occasions and then knocking him out in the second round. Like, that win's no joke whatsoever. The other wins, not as impressive. Trevin Giles, Marcus Perez, Darren Till, Derek Brunson. But that Robert Whittaker win is incredible in my opinion. So, yeah, I think Dricus is very live to go out there and pull off the slight upset. I do think he's going to be a very popular underdog this week, but I kind of have a feeling he knocks out Sean Strickland. I kind of have a feeling Sean Strickland's going to put himself into the fire, and that's just not something you want to do against Dricus du Plessis. So I'm going to take Dricus to win this fight by first-round knockout, and I think he knocks out Sean Strickland early on here. With that said, if this fight does get extended, I do think it's going to start to favor Sean Strickland a little bit. We've never seen Dricus du Plessis in a fourth round. We've never seen him in a fifth round. And we very rarely often see him in a third round as well. His Dricus fights, they typically end pretty early on. His 2 losses as well do come in the third round also. So if this fight does reach the third, fourth, and fifth, I think that's when that pressure, that pace is going to probably start to get to Dricus. But my thinking is it might not even get there. Like, if Dricus lands a big shot early and puts Sean Strickland out. So give me Dricus to win this fight early on. From a betting perspective, we have, let's see here. We have Sean Strickland, like I said, minus 140. And then we have Dricus plus 120. And I'm not sure where this line's going to go because a lot of people like Dricus, but I know a lot of people are going to like Sean Strickland as well. And it looks like money is coming. It's been about the same for a while now. So we'll have to see where this line goes, but it's definitely a dog or pass for me. If you're on the Strickland side, I think like the Strickland late props might be something to look at, but I have a feeling they're going to be onto it this week. And then also the Dricus early props are going to be something I want to look at as well. The over-under looks like it's set at 2.5 rounds, and the under 2.5 is juiced to minus 150. I don't really love that, but I do think that under does hit because I'm more so on the Dricus side. But it's not something I'm extremely passionate about, Dricus du Plessis going out there and getting this win. I just feel like in a fight that I feel like is going to be chaotic, a fight that is going to be a car crash, I feel like that favors Dricus du Plessis, and I think he's going to meet Strickland in the middle, and I think these guys are going to, like Sean Strickland says, do the man dance, and I feel like you do not want to do the man dance with a guy like Dricus. I mean, this guy's next level dangerous. In terms of the ground game, I don't see Dricus going out there and proactively trying to, grapple or nothing like that, but maybe he does get a takedown or two, and if he does, as we know, Dricus' ground game is very good, incredible ground and pound. It looks like he beat the crap out of Whittaker on the mat in that first round of their last fight. Couple submissions on his record as well. Dricus, very good grappler, very good ground and pound. If he was to get Sean Strickland on the mat, he could do some damage and potentially get a sub. With that said, I'm looking here. He took down Robert Whittaker. That's incredible. Took down Derek Brunson. Took down Darren Till 6 times. So, yeah, he can wrestle. And, yeah, if he does, I think he can have success, which is like another reason that I do like the Dricus side here then. So, wrestling upside and power as well. I think power especially, the danger factor. Like, the over-under set at 2.5, right? The under 2.5, the under 2.5 is minus 150. I don't see Strickland finishing du Plessis under 2.5 rounds. I just don't. I think if Strickland wins, it's either a decision or like a late finish. So why is this under juiced whenever Dricus is the underdog? It just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So, give me Dricus early on. I don't know when I'm going to be betting yet, but I think Dricus is very live to not only win this fight, but finish this fight as well. So let me know who you guys have down in the comments. I think Dricus will be a very popular dog this week, but I also feel like Sean Strickland's going to get his rightfully deserved respect this week. He is the favorite. He is the champion. But, this Dricus guy, I think, is just different. This is a guy that, he's one of those guys that just always finds a way to win. It could be ugly, it could be greasy, but he could always just find a way to win, find a way to land a big shot, to get a sub. I mean, he's one of those guys, and those guys are fun to watch. So let me know you guys have down in the comments. Be on the lookout for the full card breakdown for UFC 297. I think we have 12 fights for this card, if I'm not mistaken. I was able to research all 12 of them today. Now I just have to record, edit, and then get that out to you guys on Monday. So be on the lookout for Monday. And other than that, best of luck for UFC 297 if you are betting on this fight. I think I probably will get to either a Dricus bet or like a violence bet in some sort of fashion. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, best of luck for UFC 297 main event. Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis. and be on the lookout for the press conference as well. I think the press conference is going to be just as exciting for the fight. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. See you later.